thinking about the 500 years since the Reformation, but at the same time, these things about iniquity abounding, love growing cold. Um, I was just hearing about in the town I grew up in. There was a large state hospital that was called, they call it Kirkbride, named after Thomas Kirkbride, and he founded that, and back in the late 1800s. It was Victorian, and he had the dream of, he had the vision of being able to actually heal people, and they had camping, fishing, gardening for people, and I guess it was the idea, just take them out of, if they're out of whatever environment they're in, and these healthy things are available to them, then it might help them, and it probably did help some people, but as time went on, people, that field of medicine kind of gave up on healing people. And it's understandable, because it's just, there's so much involved in people being well, and part of it has to do with their own choice, and with iniquity abounding and love growing cold. I mean, people who have these problems. I was thinking about this movie where Sidney Poitier was he was playing a prison psychiatrist trying to help a white guy, and it had a lot. All of his films had to do with dealing with racism, and in that the white guy just couldn't receive any help from Poitier's character, but really he would have been really healed, in fact, if he had been able to, and but he was just unwilling to, which is part of the human problem, the human predicament, is that unwillingness. So that was one of the things that was involved back then when they, because it wasn't just Kirkbride. It was kind of happening in that time. Vincent van Gogh was in that asylum in Paris in those days, and they had the same, like, they set up his easel outdoors and stuff, and they were really trying to help people. They didn't understand a lot of things that people had. He had epilepsy, they believe, probably, and they didn't understand things, they didn't have medications, but they had they were really trying to help people, and that's how he painted there. But then they ended up just kind of giving up, because, I mean, really, it is such a, it is such an overwhelming thing, and I just think that the field, not everybody in that field would I say that they gave up, or that they give up, or that they don't try to help people, that they don't actually try to heal them, because they do, but they probably have to recognize, where people are willing to be helped, and then that there are people who aren't, and but they basically, that field, they ended up deciding that everything was just organic, that it was just organic brain material that was the cause of everything, and just, I mean, good Lord, leaving out, and they always have just these real kind of slapping on, tagging things, schizophrenia, bipolar. I mean, just, I really think they're about as in the dark as they ever were. They're just, except for those people, the people that can really heal people are people of God, who have the Word of God, who have the Spirit of God, who have the wisdom to understand about people's souls, about the influence of the spiritual realm, that people are spirits, that the spiritual realm affects them, that they're affected by demons, and that their own evil is the source of so many things, that they have to deal with that evil in order to get free. A whole lot of things are involved in people getting well, that are addressed by people in clergy who are very gifted to help people, So and I think they have a lot more wisdom, a lot more understanding. There's a lot more light there that we're still so in the dark in the field of psychology and psychiatry. and it's kind of signs the times where with love growing cold. But I just I thought it was really cool to realize this about this hospital and how they had really wanted to help people.